So from my perspective, Al, they're not as harmful because they're more natural. Instead of 900 ingredients, there's only one ingredient, tobacco. You don't have to smoke the expensive ones. You can find quality probably wherever you live. You know, the South American brands, the Indonesian brands.
Network and connect. Go the extra mile with Alan and Eric. Good morning and welcome back. Today we have David Helliwell, a resident of Bali via Blackburn, Kazakhstan and other exotic locations. David is a seasoned welding specialist and a quality control expert. He brings over 20 years of experience in global oil and gas to our studio today. He had an engineering apprenticeship, has a diploma and a business degree with an MBA to back up his impressive CV. He held senior quality roles at industry giants such as Siemens, Acre Solutions, and the Welding Institute. He's been involved in some major projects like Gorgon and FGP. He is also a multiple entrepreneur. He claims that he's learned a lot from a string of failures. His adventures including a UK pub, a Spanish bar, and a boating business in Asia. David's resilience fuels his innovative approach to leadership and problem solving. I met David several years ago, and we have been known to enjoy the odd cigar after a meal. Today, we're uncovering the truth about cigars. Do they have hidden benefits? Let's dive in. David, let's start with the basics. Most people think cigars are as harmful as cigarettes, but you say that's not true. Can you clear up the difference for us?
So from my perspective, Al, they're not as harmful because they're more natural. Instead of 900 ingredients, there's only one ingredient, tobacco, and a bit of spit to stick the leaves together. So they're in that way they're less harmful. But it's not broccoli. It's not a health smoke. So it's still harmful, but it's less harmful than cigarettes, in my opinion.
One of the biggest misconceptions you mentioned is that people think that you inhale cigars like cigarettes. Can you explain that difference?
Yeah, we're not taking it into our lungs and causing damage in our lungs. We're tasting it in our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually even blow it out my nose. I savor it in my mouth and blow it out. So you're just getting a mild hit from the nicotine, and you get the flavor of the cigar.
I think it gives an ambience as well to
Yeah.
the area. So you're hinting that there's something different about cigars, some hidden benefits that most people don't know about. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
For me, it's definitely the relaxation aspect. So you relax, you have to slow down.
Yeah.
You know, some of the cigars we've smoked, they take nearly an hour to
That's true.
they take nearly an hour, so you're forced to sit down, relax, have engaging conversations, and not be thinking where am I going, what am I doing. It's a kind of meditative, but also it stimulates you as well. So
It's a kind of therapy, isn't it?
yeah,
Really?
for me it definitely is. And as you know, I give up smoking in 2000. I give up drinking nearly 10 years ago. I've give up coffee because I've got high blood pressure, and it's actually not too bad a stimulant or bad habit that I can still engage in.
Do you think it fills the gaps?
Fills the gap, yeah.
Excellent. So would you say that science supports these benefits? Can you sort of dive into how nicotine from cigars impacts the brain and how it's helped you personally in your line of work?
Well, before I answer that, I'm a welder that likes photography, dogs, and fishing. So I'm not really a scientist, but there there is benefits to nicotine. It's some biohackers who are using Nicorette to stimulate
Yeah.
the brain and help them think clearly. And I definitely get that. Like, I've had a few interviews recently, and I smoked a cigar an hour before to help me relax
Oh,
and all.
these are job interviews. Yeah.
Job interviews,
Yeah.
and uh, they're always late at night here, and I'm a morning person, so I first time I had coffee and then I didn't bloody sleep. So the following two, I had a cigar an hour before, and I had enough stimulus and clear thinking that it went okay. I'm down to the last two
Yeah.
anyway, so it must have worked.
Oh well. Well, the way you describe it, cigars sound a bit like a social tool as well. I mean, how do they help people to connect, especially in your experience?
Well, recently, well, I'm building a villa in Bali, and I have regular meetings with the civil engineer and the owner of the building company. So we go for breakfast at one of the hotels, and then after the breakfast, we have a cigar. I give the guys a nice cigar, and then we sit down for another 30, 40 minutes. And every time we're the last people, and the staff at the hotel are saying, "Would you like any more coffee? Would you like anything else? The buffet's closing." And when we look round, we're the last people there,
Yeah.
and it's a social event that comes from business, but it is a
That
relaxing,
sounds a bit like a bonding experience,
yeah,
doesn't it? Really.
yeah, team building,
Yeah, team building. I can see how that would work,
yeah,
and I guess the locals are very keen
yeah,
on that kind of
yeah,
thing
yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah. They've enjoyed it, and the civil engineer Agung, he took one of the big ones home to show his families, like because they're a quarter the price of a Cuban cigar, but they're still $10-15 a pop, which
Yeah.
is not affordable to most people in Indonesia, unfortunately.
Well, I'm on your side there. I think they're a bonding element too. So really, you've emphasised the ritual of cigars in a way. So what's so important, especially in today's sort of fast-paced world?
I think again, it's the stop, take a deep breath, and do something slowly, and the ritual of unpacking it, cutting the end off,
Yeah.
taking a draw well before you light it, toasting it, getting a nice burn, and then smoking it, having a
Yeah.
nice cup of coffee or a tea or a bourbon, whatever your drink of choice is, and depends on the time as well.
I think it's probably got less harmful effects than drinking alcohol to bond, don't you?
Yeah, normally you could punch each other in the head if you have too
Yeah.
much alcohol.
So you've explained how you enjoy a cigar. You use them in your social interactions, your business interactions. Um, how do you keep the balance right?
I only smoke probably two cigars a week, sometimes one. Like when I went working in Kazakhstan, it was like no smoking in
Yeah.
the communal areas, and it's minus 40 sometimes. So I'd go 8 weeks and maybe only have one
Yeah.
because it's no fun smoking on your own.
Do you deliberately impose a balance on yourself? Do you sometimes think, "Oh, I wouldn't mind one. I'll leave it later."
No, because I don't smoke at home. And just to go back a few steps, I was working in the Dominican Republic with some American guys who I got friendly with, and we go out for a dinner on Saturday night because we didn't work Sundays, and then we go to the cigar lounge, at which there's many in Dominican
Yeah.
Republic, and the guys didn't smoke, but they smoked cigars. So then I realized, oh, you don't have to be all in on cigars. So then I had a nice Che Guevara
Yeah,
style cigar
yeah.
in the Dominican Republic with guys who didn't smoke.
So out there, there'll be people watching this of all ages. For someone new to cigars, what are the best ones to try? And what advice would you give to someone who fancies having a go at a cigar?
Like anything else in life, get the best quality you can afford that suits your budget. And you and me, we support. Sometimes we'll smoke a $15 one, and sometimes we try a $2 one from the many factories in
Yeah,
Indonesia. And this year I had a Romeo and Juliet Churchill that cost maybe £45, and then a week later I had an ambassador from Bin Cigars in Indonesia that was like maybe $10 or $12, so less than a quarter of the price. But the Romeo and Juliet wasn't four times better. It was good, but so was the ambassador
yeah.
from Indonesia.
I guess for many years, Cuba have sort of claimed the crown, haven't they?
Yeah,
Although Dominican Republic is pretty big
yeah.
on cigars too, isn't it? Let's be honest, you know.
But most of the binders and the wrappers come from Indonesia, Sumatra, and the Indonesian industry is bigger, and the universities have got hold of it, plus agriculture. So there's more tobacco varieties grown in
Yeah.
Indonesia. Plus, we're more diverse than Cuba. We've got different. So there's actually uh, more selection here.
So you've had a experience of cigars from around the world.
Yeah.
You know, what made you get into Indonesia? Because I know you're very keen on them, aren't you?
Yeah. So I have a fishing friend from America who's like third or fourth generation tobacco industry. We call him redneck because he's
Red
from da-
Ned.
he's from down south. So
Yeah.
Trump fan and all that. So I go fishing with him in Malaysia, and I know he's lived in Malaysia for a long time and been in the industry. So I WhatsApped him and said, "Do you know any good cigar factories in Indonesia?" So he said, "Oh yeah, I go out partying with the son of this one, and I know this. I sell these Virginian tobaccos." So he gave me a few different companies. So I contacted them. One of them in Jember, we actually went to the factory shop because my wife's farm is not far from there. So we call in personally, and they've got the proper smoking lounge and leather chairs and nice artwork. So it was from a fishing friend that's
Yeah.
an insider in the industry.
You're bringing a whole new dimension to networking. I'm into business networking, but cigar networking?
Well,
It could
it's
be the new
actually
thing.
fishing networking. Really, I've got that is a diverse group. I've got
Yeah, fantastic.
CEOs of oil companies, telecom companies, tobacco people, business owners in Taiwan, China. It's like
Well, I made a joke about it a second ago, but cigars do help you with your networking, don't
yeah,
they? It's
yeah,
just another tool, another means, another way of opening a conversation.
yeah,
Um, you know, making a contact.
yeah, for sure. And
Yeah,
my friend who has a very successful business in China, who I grew up with, so from Lancashire, he receives cigars from clients and he gives cigars to clients as gifts, to seal the deal and smoke them because smoking cigars is normal in China. It's like it's been outlawed in the UK, the same
yeah.
as smoking cigarettes.
Some people, especially some women, I might say, think that cigars are just horrible and dirty and smelly. Do you have any come back to that?
They're allowed to think what they want, aren't they? Really, I enjoy it. I find the smell nice. I don't enjoy the smell of cigarettes for sure, and banana milkshake vapes are just disgusting. If you walk past, I hold my breath if I walk past, and they're
Yeah.
doing that everywhere. So everyone to their own, Al. You know what I
It's
mean?
horses for courses, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. Okay, so we've explored the way cigars can help you in networking, how enjoyable they are. There are obviously potentially some dangers. So, how would you advise people to use cigars responsibly?
Probably I'd say don't. Like everything else, I said don't, but it's your choice. You know what I mean? I wouldn't actually promote smoking cigars or anything else, to be
Mm.
honest. But I make a educated choice to smoke cigars because for me the benefits of us sitting down for a couple of hours smoking a cigar, invading Poland again, or putting the world to rights,
Yeah.
it, it it's mentally beneficial. And like I said about the interviews that are late at night, for me it's actually a nice stimulant, better than coffee because it's not jittery and I can just go straight to sleep. But
Yeah, I agree with you. I personally gave up smoking over 50 years ago, but I've always carried on with the odd cigar or two, especially after I used to be in the army. So after a regimental dinner, after you've had a couple of courses with wine and a nice toast at the end of the evening to the
mm,
Queen, to sit back and enjoy a cigar, I found was excellent. And I've carried that on throughout my life. And I've always enjoyed a cigar at those sort of moments.
yeah,
Halfway through the evening, you've had your meal, you've maybe had a drink or two. I don't drink a lot anyway, but that moment when you and one or two of the guys say, let's just pop outside, we'll have a cigar, and you put the world to rights.
mm,
I think it's a wonderful moment.
yeah, it's better than people posting on Facebook, I think, and not having social interaction.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Apart from drinking and eating, I don't think there's other ways that people go and interact for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Okay, fishing is my one.
I might add that David and I, we've currently just started off a little group in Bali where we meet up once a week and enjoy a cigar and maybe it's a half of beer.
Yeah,
And it's growing slowly, isn't it?
yeah. People want to do it, and
Yeah.
it gives us a chance to try more cigars from different factories. So I'm waiting for our next delivery. So
Yeah.
we need to get more friends because we'll have to give a lot of them away. We've got so
Perhaps
many.
perhaps we'll franchise the cigar club,
Yeah.
the mobile cigar club. Okay, I think we've explored a diverse number of routes and tangents about cigars. What is your final message for people out there about cigars?
You don't have to smoke the expensive ones. You can find quality probably wherever you live. You know, the South American brands, the Indonesian brands. Like we smoke these sometimes, which they're 100,000 rupiah
Can you just point that directly at the camera, please,
for
David? Thank you.
five. So you can get a box of very good quality, locally made small cigars for 100,000 rupees, whatever that is
So
in.
that's one end of the scale, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the same company, I think, uh, you get nice leather containers, uh, tubos, and a fantastic cigar, which I think these are probably about 40,000 per piece. So one piece is equivalent to five, but they're obviously bigger. But that's the same
The thing that
length.
strikes me straight away about that is the absolute superb quality of packaging.
Yeah,
Packaging you can use and use and use. So perhaps it's a recycling tip there as well. I don't
yeah,
know.
and I believe because I didn't know back then, but I believe 20 years ago they were copying Cuban styles, but now all the Indonesian factories they've got their own style, they've got their own flavors,
Yeah.
profiles, and the quality is superb. Actually, the boxes here are better than Cubans. Yeah, so like this is I think a box of 10 box pressed El Gaucho Red. So this is probably the most premier cigar I've smoked. And look at the packaging. So the boxes are aluminium. This is real leather and wood with a nice paper and the story on. Real clasps. So you've got a small humidor for as part of your 2.2 million. So
Oh, so
that's
that's
the
a little bit of
story.
history there.
Yeah.
The history behind it. That's nice.
Yeah. Right into the microphone. And then you've got bigger than a Robusto, so you can get a packet of free for 105,000. These are, and they're a good smoke. That's what we had on the beach the other day. Got these because I have a friend called Ernesto, so they're a present. And then this is now my new favorite. So a packet of these are 180,000 each, so $15 maybe, and you get the nice box. Yeah,
Yeah, it's about £9 English, I think, isn't it?
for one, yeah, which is okay. And these are fantastic quality from Bin Cigars in Gembar. So another great factory. So
I suspect you wouldn't get one of those for £3 in England.
no, per piece 180.
Yeah. For each
Yeah,
one, oh, £9 each.
£9 each. But
Right.
an equivalent Cuban's going to be 30 to 40 pounds.
Absolutely.
And for me, I'm from up north, Al, so
Yeah.
I need a bargain. I can't
Yeah.
justify spending £30 when I can get one for 9.
Yeah.
You'll come across as stingy.
Oh, what to say, your short arms and long pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a little bit different from our normal type of podcast. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, please view the whole of this tape. Recommend it to a friend. Share the link. Give us a like, and by all means, come back with your comments. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.